Happy Tuesday, wonderful people from Houston, Texas. Welcome to Stellar Parenting with Brandi. I am your host, Brandi Kahn. I'm an intuitive astrologer, and I also hold a Master of Science degree in psychology with an emphasis in child and adolescent development. And I'm super passionate about helping parents, helping guardians and teachers combine the magic of the stars and the planets with the art of consciously and intentionally raising our children. You can find me online at brandycon.com. That's Brandi with an I, and Con is Khan. And please join my Facebook group, Psychology Infused Astrology, to receive priority. If you want to be a guest on the show for a natal chart reading for you, or one for you want to know about your child's chart, or even just a tarot or intuitive reading, please join my group and sign up on the list. I'm so happy to have you all here. How is this week going for everybody? I just want to take a moment and talk to our listeners in Florida and to let you guys know that we are thinking about all of you and we are praying for you with the hurricane that's headed your way. And I say this as someone who lives south of Houston, very, very close to the Gulf of Mexico. My heart absolutely goes out to you. And especially if you have children, if you are a parent, because one of the things that we want most is to give our children this sense of safety, a sense of security. And it's really hard to do that when you just don't know what's going to happen. So please know that I'm thinking about you all. I want you to stay safe and take care of yourselves and your family. So, for our show today, I will be going over important transits that we have for this week. And we will be doing our In the Spotlight segment as usual. And then there should be a few minutes left. So, if you want an astrology or a tarot reading, I use a Celtic cross spread, please call into the show. Please call into the show and receive a reading from me. Okay, so let's get started with our show today, people. We've got important transits this week. We've got Mars in Cancer that is squaring Mercury in Libra as of yesterday. Mercury in astrology is the planet of communication. And Mercury rules not only how we communicate, but how we think and process information, and also travel as well. So we've got, the planet of communication in the sign of Libra. Libra is an air sign that's concerned with relating to others, that's very concerned with diplomacy and harmony and peace. And can we just all get along? That's the feeling there with Libra. So Mercury in Libra is really thinking and speaking about getting along with other people. Now, in this tense aspect to Mars in astrology, Mars is the planet of action. Mars is the planet of drive and initiative and impulse, and he can be assertive, or Mars can even be aggressive if that energy is out of balance. So when we put Mars, this fiery planet, we put him in the water sign of Cancer. He can be a little bit uncomfortable and unsure exactly how to direct his energy. And so therefore sometimes Mars in Cancer can come across, if unbalanced, if the energy is unbalanced, in very passive aggressive ways. So what I want you to do this week, this combination opens the door to disagreement, to misunderstandings, to conflict. So I want you to think about what you say carefully before you say it. You'll be very prone to speaking impulsively without fully thinking about what you say before you say it. So I want you to think before you speak, take a deep breath, think before you speak. And then when you're having a conversation with another person, to actively listen to what they are saying. So, not only to hear the words they are speaking to you, but to feel the energy of what's behind what they're trying to communicate with you, and then try to connect with them that way. Mars and Cancer, Cancer is the sign of home, family, uh, nurturing, raising children, all of that. So with Mars and Cancer, I want you to be very mindful this week of how you are expressing yourself, particularly at home with your family, with your spouse, with your children. Okay. If there's something that you need, you can share it in a very assertive way. Assertive communication is okay, but we don't want to veer off into anything that's aggressive or even passive aggressive. So make sure you're thinking about that this week and set the intention to be mindful with your speech. Okay. Now, tomorrow we have Jupiter going retrograde in the sign of Gemini. Now, Jupiter has already been in Gemini since the end of May this year. And for those of you who have sun or moon in Gemini, or even your rising sign in Gemini, you may have noticed that it just seems as if doors have opened up for you. There's been all of this growth and potential and expansion and opportunity. Okay. So we've got Jupiter in Gemini. He's going to go retrograde tomorrow until February the 4th of 2025. So I want you all to take a look at your natal chart and figure out what part of your sky, what part of your natal chart real estate is in the sign of Gemini, because this will be an area that you are reassessing and rethinking about over the next few months. So let's just take, for example, let's just say that your 10th house of career is in the sign of Gemini. So maybe since the end of May, you've been growing your business, you've been expanding, you've had all of this opportunity coming towards you from a professional standpoint. So when Jupiter comes to a halt and appears to go retrograde in the sky, this is a time to reflect inwards. And it's a time to reassess. Okay, so the area that I'm growing my business, does this align with my personal mission? Does this align with my personal belief and my philosophy about life? How do I really feel about the direction that I'm heading? Is this where I want to be 5 or 10 years from now? Okay. So, depending upon where Jupiter is in your natal chart, there's a lot of reassessing and re evaluating how you've grown and expanded, and if that's the trajectory that you want to continue on. So, please be mindful of that. We also have Pluto on Friday, October 11th. Pluto will finally station direct in Capricorn at 29 degrees. Now, Pluto has been in the sign of Capricorn since 2008. And he'll be there for he'll be direct at 29 degrees of Capricorn about for the next 4 weeks until November 19th when he finally enters Aquarius to stay. So Pluto will never again in our lifetimes be in the sign of Capricorn. So I want you again to go to your natal chart. Where is the Capricorn real estate? Which house, which area of your life is in the sign of Capricorn? And what you're going to do, you're going to try to figure out, is there anything left in this area of my life that I need to bring to a finish, that I need to bring to completion? Because as soon as Pluto goes retrograde, we get like a burst of power. He's going to unleash his power there to help us over the next 4 weeks get things wrapped up. So let's just say, for example, that you've got Pluto in Capricorn in your fourth house of home and family. And you started remodeling or renovating your house and you're wanting to get everything wrapped up. The next 4 weeks is the perfect time to do that with Pluto stationing direct and using that energy to bring that to completion. So those are transits for this week that I wanted to mention to you guys so that you're all aware of the energy and that you can be very intentional about how you use this energy to construct and create your life. Now, for our In the Spotlight series, today in the Spotlight, and I want everybody to listen carefully because this might be a placement that not only your child might have it in their natal chart, but what about you as the parent? Do you have this placement in your natal chart, or do you know someone who does? And what we're talking about today is Moon in the sign of Leo. Moon and Leo. Okay. So, in astrology, the moon is so important, not only because the moon helps us to understand our feelings and our emotions, but the moon also shows us what makes us feel safe and secure. And this is especially important for you to understand if you are a parent, if you have children, because you're wanting to provide a sense of safety and security to your children. So, understanding the language of the moon and their natal chart will help you with that. So, when we talk about the sign of Leo, let's talk about Leo for a moment. Leo is a fixed fire sign. Okay. So, what that means is Leo can be very persistent. Leo can be very focused. And Leo can be very energetic and expressive and wants to take action. Okay. Those are the inherent qualities of Leo. Now, what's important to recognize is that Leo, like all of the other signs, has a deep need, a very deep psychological need with the sign of Leo. Leo has this need to feel validated. Leo has the need for approval, admiration, and attention, and even creativity as well, the need to be creative. Now, all children, all people have a need to matter and to feel validated and to feel approved of. But for those with strong Leo placements in the chart, that need is going to be even more emphasized or apparent in their personality. Now, the one thing I'll say about Leo, and I think that there are a lot of stereotypes when it comes to the astrological signs. But one of them that I've heard about Leo is that, Leo, usually people who have major placements in Leo, they are overconfident, they are arrogant, and they, are so entirely selfish. And that could be how Leo energy is expressed if it's unbalanced or dysfunctional in some sense. But many times, people with Leo, here's the interesting fact about them: people with strong Leo placements, a lot of times, are here to learn how to truly develop their self confidence so that they can shine, so that they can take center stage and radiate their light. A lot of times that self-confidence doesn't quite come naturally, even though it seems like it might. It's not always there naturally in the secure form. So, Leo may seem confident, but they're really working on overcoming some level of insecurity, usually is what I found in my clients. Okay. So there's lots of compassion for people with strong placements in Leo. It can lead to sometimes a lot of self doubt, questioning the self, and just feeling like you need approval from other people. So, people who have moon in Leo, especially children with their moon in Leo, the emotions tend to be very warm. They may be very, very affectionate. They may be very loving. But these children also need a lot of love in return. So, you want to teach them to be proud of themselves. Teach them to have that inner pride, that inner validation. And then that way they don't go looking for it from someone else. They don't need to be approved of, by other people if it's going to come from within. So there could be this deep need to feel special and to feel important. But our children with Moon in Leo and strong Leo placements must learn that developing self love and developing that self approval must come from within first. Okay. Otherwise, people could use that approval in a very harmful way. People could use that approval or their approval to manipulate our kids into getting them to do what they want to do in order to keep that approval. And we want our kids to be able to stand firm in who they are and what they know without being influenced by other people or needing their approval in that way. So, Moon and Leo children tend to be very sensitive with strong feelings. If that Leo energy is in any way out of balance, our children can be a little bit stubborn or overbearing at times, if that Leo is out of balance. But on the positive side, they tend to be very noble, very loyal, and they usually tend to have leadership skills or leadership ability. Okay. And they really want to be outstanding at something and they desire to be center stage. And creativity is such a strong area for Leo. So, what you want to do as a parent, you want to ask, how can I foster my child's sense of creativity? How can I do that? And I mean, you can do that through music. You can do it through art, even theater. Theater tends to be really good for people with strong Leo placements because they've got a tendency to be a little bit dramatic anyway at times, right? And they can act on those emotions, and being on stage and playing out different parts is a good way to allow our children to allow their dramatic flair to bloom naturally and in a way that's constructed. Okay. But again, I want to emphasize the importance of the psychological need at play here with the sign of Leo. Leo has a need to receive validation of identity, approval, attention, and affirmation. And pride runs strongly within the personalities of people with strong Leo placements. And self-esteem is so important to them because that's going to determine how they experience the world. That will determine the foundation of their lives many times. They're working on developing that strong sense of self-esteem. So please, as a parent, always remember that. And one way to really hurt or to injure their pride is to insult them or to humiliate them. Okay. So, as someone who was a child with Moon and Leo, I will say if you have any criticism for your child, please always begin with a compliment or with something that you've observed that they've done right. So let's say for example you want your child to clean their room is kind of messy. You ask your Moon and Leo child, please go clean your room, sweetheart. And you go back, they say they're finished, you go back to check and it still looks like a tornado has torn through the room. But you do notice that the books on the desk have been stacked very nicely and the desk is organized. So I would begin that way. I would begin with, I love the way that you've organized your desk and you've stacked your books so neatly on top of each other. Could you also please make the bed? Could you make sure that you pick up the toys on the floor? Could you make sure that your shoes are put away in your closet? So, always before a piece of criticism or advice that they might be sensitive to, start with what you see that's good, what they've done right. And if you do this, they're more likely to listen to you and more likely to take your advice and your direction. So, with Leo children or people with strong Leo placements, validate them for the wonderful human beings that they are, and then they will absolutely open their hearts to you, and that way you can cement a really strong bond built on a solid foundation with your child. Okay, so that's all for our In the Spotlight series this week. And we have a caller. We have Sherry calling from Canada. Hi, Sherry.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. Thank you so much for calling into the show. Would you like astrology or tarot?
Tarot would be great.
Okay, great. Okay, so I've got my cards here and I'm just going to shuffle a little bit. And do you know what area you want to focus on?
Um, well, I have a lot of things going on in my life, and I'd like to know when some things are going to settle and things about like family dynamics and stuff.
Okay, so let's just take a look. I'm shuffling and I'm getting in touch. Let me just connect with the guides here for Sherry. Sherry wants clarity. Okay. And let me know when to stop, Sherry, when to stop shuffling.
Okay, stop.
Okay. Well, there we go. Okay. Alrighty. So I do use a Celtic cross spread, and I see right here the card for what we've got that's going on right now in the present moment. We do have the Nine of Wands. So I know that you've been working quite a bit. You've been applying yourself, in your life diligently, and it still feels like there's a little bit of ways to go. You understand that?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Now, the challenge card that we have over the Nine of Wands, though, I do have the Eight of Cups, which is all about um, leaving something behind, leaving a situation, or taking a different path if something has not been serving our highest good. So there's this whole dynamic that I'm picking up on with these cards of you're working hard on something, you're focused on something, you're putting 110% in, but then there's a part of you that's like, should I try something different? Or is this going to work? Or should I just give up? Does that make sense?
Somewhat. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Okay. And what I do know from the personal power card, we do have the strength card. So I know that one thing that's working in your favor is you've got a tremendous amount of internal resilience and internal strength. You understand that?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, Sherry, that I'm just picking up intuitively with that card. I do feel at times as if um, you feel like you've got to have everything together, like you're afraid to maybe reach out to others if you need help. You don't really want anybody. You don't want to come across as vulnerable or weak in any way whatsoever. So I do feel as if I try to tap into my strength. I'm trying to be resilient at times, and that's the image that I'm projecting to the world around me. You understand?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, but within that, I do know that I feel an area of sensitivity. I feel this area of vulnerability where even though I feel so strong at times and so sure about everything, there's a part of me that's not quite there. You understand?
Yes, I do. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Now,
Totally.
over the next good, good. Over the next few weeks, I do have the Eight of Swords, and with that card, there's the feeling of being a little bit limited or restricted by what's going on in your life. But a lot of times it's our own thoughts or thinking or our perception about the situation that makes us feel a little bit limited. And then we're unable to really see what can work in our favor. You understand that?
Yes, I do. Yeah. Yeah. That
Okay.
makes sense.
Okay. Okay, good. And then I'd say over the next month, there is the Two of Wands that's here, which for me means beginning something new, going in a new direction, heading into a new venture. There's this feeling of, okay, starting something new. And it may be, in conjunction with another person, because we've got the two here, and the two feels very significant for me. So I don't think this is something that you're doing on your own. It does feel as if there's one other person that's there with you as you guys decide to shift into something new or a new approach. That makes sense?
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Okay. I want to talk about the Knight of Cups here. It's in the position of things that have happened in the past. And usually when I get the Knight of Cups, it's about relationships, and it's about love, and it's about having this feeling of being loved, and connecting with someone else. So I feel like that I want to say, like, within the past, like the past 2 years, it does feel as if there's a significant relationship, and the feeling or the connection between you and that individual was quite strong. You understand that?
Yes, I do very much. I several months ago I connected with a half brother, and yeah, and it's been going great. So that makes sense.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Wonderful. Okay. Absolutely wonderful. Good. We do have here for the external influence on your situation, one of the best cards in the deck. We've got the sun. Okay. So the sun is all about hope, optimism, joy. So I know that there's this sense that you have, or that even other people around you may have, that everything's going to work out, everything's going to be okay. The sun will shine again, one day. You understand that?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay. And I will say, For hopes, wishes, dreams, we've got the King of Pentacles. So there's something here about money or finances or being able to meet material needs that you're hoping for or wishing for.
Oh,
You
yeah.
understand? Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Because that
there's an
comes up.
inheritance.
Okay. Okay.
Mm.
So I will tell you, we've got the answer card and the outcome card. Now, the answer card is one of my favorite cards. It's the 10 of Pentacles. Okay, that's all about financial prosperity, family happiness. It's one of my
Mhm.
favorite cards in the deck because it's like, oh wow, all of this, wonderful, all these wonderful things and situations are here for me as far as meeting my material needs, financially, and with my family. It's like happy family life. And just as I'm feeling into that, I know that this is something that you're really working towards or something that you're really wanting to what's the word? It feels as if things may have been shaky over the last few weeks, but I feel like that I want to say with this 10 of Pentacles, things are heading in a better direction for you. Okay.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Now, the outcome card, we do have the 10 of Swords. So, what's interesting is your answer card and your outcome card, they're both tens, which are about bringing something to completion or fulfillment. And then with the 10 of Swords, it's like there might be a big change for a new beginning, which also mirrors a lot of the eclipse that we had last week. So it does feel as if there is a change coming for a new beginning. And with the 2 of Wands and the 10 of Swords both make, and I feel like, okay, something new, a new beginning, a new approach. We're going to head in a different direction. But with this answer card of 10 of Pentacles, heading in the new direction will be a good move for you. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Sherry. We only have a few seconds left, but thank you so much for calling into the show. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a good day.
Thank you very much. Okay, you too.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks, Sherry. All right. And thank you, everyone, for joining me today for Stellar Parenting with Brandi. I'll be here again next week. So please join us and stay safe. And people in Florida, I'm thinking about you.